Britain may not be the best place in Europe to go for a seaside holiday, but it is the best place if you want to go hunting for shipwrecks. Christopher Dobbs, Head of Interpretation and Maritime Archaeology at the Mary Rose in Portsmouth, explains why.
There are an extraordinary number of shipwrecks around the UK coasts, and I think that's for a number of reasons, really. Partly because we were a great maritime nation. I suppose I should say we are a great maritime nation. But because we were such a great maritime nation, the amount of shipping that's gone around the coast is incredible. But also, there are a lot of rocky shores, there's unpredictable weather. So, A, I think there has been a great deal of shipping. B, problems with the weather. C, there's been quite good preservation. If you imagine, many other coasts are just rocky, and when you have shipwrecks on a rocky coast, they all disappear. Whereas there are patches around Britain that have silty water and sediments and sand, so the wrecks have been preserved. And then also, because we're at a crossroads of shipping anyway, if you imagine all the great maritime nations of the past, whether it's Holland or France or Portugal or Spain or Sweden, we're sort of in the way of them getting to whether it's the Americas or the Far East. And so, there are ships of many nations around our coast, including up north, because, for instance, in the 17th century, the Dutch would go on the northern route around the British Isles, both to get favourable winds and because they were sometimes at war with us. So there is an extraordinary richness in the shipwreck heritage around the British coasts.
Christopher Dobbs is himself an accomplished underwater archaeologist and diver. He has spent most of his career working on the Mary Rose, but one of his first dives was off the Shetland Islands, and it actually involved a Dutch ship from the 17th century.
That was actually a Dutch East Indiaman from 1664, and a fascinating ship. In fact, on that ship we found 5 golf clubs, and the thought that they were playing golf in the 1660s I think is amazing, and that they were exporting them to Jakarta, perhaps to play themselves in what's now Indonesia. But also 3 of them were left-handed, and 2 of them were right-handed, and it just seems so extraordinary, and that's what's so great about shipwrecks. There are these things that you find that you would hardly ever expect to find on a shipwreck that give you little insights into the past that we can't get from historical notes. And I think this subject of archaeology in the historical period is fascinating because the two disciplines can really complement each other, and you find some facts from history and some facts from archaeology, and they can combine to get a real picture of what life was like in olden times.